Any of y'all want to get into rental property, this is part of it right here. This is sometimes what's waiting on you when they leave a full refrigerator and turn the power off. So that was a brand new refrigerator when I put it in there about a year ago, and now it's got clumps of maggots in it. So that's a part of it though. Sometimes, well, a few times, they'll swear they left the place rent ready for you. Pretty nasty. You know, I made that video of the refrigerator just to give people an idea of what you might, well, not what you might, what you will run into with a lot of people that own rental property, what they're dealing with. I mean, and that is from bad tenants. That's really just tip of the iceberg. What I have damages I've had done, I'll say, to rental property. And so I've probably, several of them, it ends up being $5,000 worth of damage. I had, the ultimate was $30,000, I think, in damages, to where I just fixed the house, or had the house fixed back up, and then sold it, because it was just, it was too much of a loss to justify having it rented back out. I mean, it took forever to make that money back. But I say this to to let people know that I think a lot of movies, most movies they portray the landlord to be the bad guy, the money grubber, like, give me my rent, where's my rent, trying to kick the poor, pitiful person out of their home, which is, it is not their home. But I'm unfortunate that I do have good tenants. I think all the tenants that I have right now are great people and great tenants. So it is, but it doesn't take but one to do enough damage to that you don't make nothing at the end of the month. I've went multiple months in the hole because of damages done and past rent not paid. So getting tired of that, I started making a list of people. I think I've got 67 now on that list of no-goes that I've got from other landlords around the area that that have multiple rental properties, and between them and then people that I've run into that I wouldn't want to see anybody rent to. I've compiled that list of 67 people now of no-goes. Don't even entertain an application or showing the property to the people on that list. So if anybody does want to, has questions about a particular person, I stand a chance of enlightening them, and you can always check with the courthouse as well, when people have they been evicted, why was they evicted, so that's a source too. And I say that because the last eviction I done, I was at the courthouse, and the girl behind me, she worked for a rental management company, and she she was telling the opposite side. They was asking, I think it was their lawyer or something, somebody representing them. They asked her, like, how much in damages is done? And she said $12,000. And they was like, $12,000, like, how can it be that much? And it's like, she was right behind me, and I overheard the conversation, and I turned around and told her, I said, people think that, like, when you say thousands of dollars of damage, they think that it's ridiculous, that no way, that they basically have no concept of how much damage can be done in a home with what looks like nothing. Which I told her, I said, you turned me loose for 30 minutes in this courthouse, and I could do $12,000 worth of damage with just my hands and feet. It's not hard to go kick doors off the hinges and holes in the wall and throw something through a window, and it is not hard to do that much damage in a house, but it is real hard to repair that damage. And then right around the corner, I saw this, not around the corner, but I'll sit there and watch the cases that come up, because most of the people, the ones that was in the courtroom that day was evictions. And I see this little old man that's trying to evict this girl, or he is evicting her, and he goes before the judge, and he's like, okay, how much in damages? And he's like, $5,000. And the judge asked him, do you want to go, get these damages, after her for damages? He's like, no, I just want her out. So they grant him eviction, and he's like, you got 10 days to get out. The judge tells the other, and the tenant, and it's being evicted. And she's like, well, could you give me 30 days? And he's like, well, it's up to him. And then the little old man is like, give her 30 days. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, it is so sad to see, and I have seen scenario after scenario of people, just keep giving in to people like that. And so I just, like I say, I have that list, and so if anybody has questions about somebody, I can say a go or no go, because here is what they have done to somebody else's property, and you don't want to be just like them, because that's what's getting ready to happen. And so I don't want that to see that happen to other people trying to do this. And thankfully, we're I didn't know, in Roane County we're not under landlord-tenant law like they are in Knox County, supposedly because the population, once it reaches a certain point, you're under landlord-tenant law, and that is, I don't even know how those people survive up there. I mean, that is where you hear these horror stories of people living in a house for a year and not paying one dime of rent, or homeless people moving in, and then now you can't get them out because they have some kind of right to live, in, because they've broke in your house and said, this is my home or dwelling, and now they can't get them out. And that, thankfully, we are not under that landlord-tenant law, but it is still the tenant has the advantage. And I wish, so I mean, the best thing I think people as owners of rental property can do is use the ability for us to connect, online through social media, and weed out the bad eggs that way. Like, enlighten, get it to where the people that have intentions of damaging property or moving in and not paying the second month's rent, that they don't even have a chance to do that and damage somebody else's property, or put them in the hole, thousands of dollars. That's it for right now. It's been a long time since I made a video, and that's been eating at me for a long time. So that I felt like I need to get that out to people, that it might help somebody. If it helps one person, then that's great. Thank you. The last thing I wanted to say is added to this is, if you're a tenant yourself, you rent. I rented for a pretty good while myself when I was younger. If you rent, the damage that other tenants do to rental property, and the money they cost the owners of the rental property, this should also piss you off as well, because this is why damage deposits are so high. This is why pet deposits are so high. This is why leases are so in depth to cover this part and that part. I mean, it is because of all the damage that has been done by that small amount of people that just do not care to tear up people's property, or not pay. And when it comes to rental property, I guess I do know. I was starting to say I don't know why that is, but I guess I do know why that is. If you went to Walmart and didn't pay them for what you got from them, you would go to jail. I've seen that happen before. You don't pay for what you get, you go to jail. You go in Walmart, you tear up their store, you go to jail. But that doesn't happen to the person that does the rents from the individual. Why that's not the same, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Seems like the same thing to me. It's money owed for services rendered, or money owed for a product, and it's damages done to property in both cases. So either way, I don't see what the difference is, but somehow the law doesn't see it that way.